Getting back to the night, January, what was it?
Boy, was it the 27th or?
All right.
Of this year.
You went to the meeting unsuspecting. You were sitting there waiting for the meeting to start. And then what happened?
Well, exactly. And I want to say this is that.
Is he going to read your statement?
Yes.
Okay, you go. I'll turn my mic off because I'm accused of being here.
I legally voted on a resolution, and former attorney Bob Sly said that Cliff and I were okay to vote on the purchase. I feel that we did nothing wrong. It wasn't an illegal vote. And I think that we have a mayor now who potentially filed a false report to criminalize a legitimate vote, and that so much misinformation has been put out there by her and Jeff Smith. Actually, she's the one who tipped Jeff Smith off to be at City Hall. The police told me that they never tip people off, that only Sarah and Eric knew. I don't think Eric would, but she really was vague in explaining that. So we totally understand that she did that. I think they were unethical for going behind the backs of the majority of council and started the charade of bribery. No vote, no resolution. She allowed the police to storm into City Hall with no warrant, as I've recently learned, even though the police said they had one, they really didn't. They apparently were judge shopping. And I think they just figured we would comply. She violated the police request of keeping the investigation confidential while they continue to work on it. She ignored that and disclosed it during the council meeting. She ignored the rules of the meeting and didn't even adjourn into executive session. Basically, she just said, oh, well, we got to go in the back room for a few minutes and we'll be back. That's when we were ambushed. She later put out a press release that night with false information after the police requested we all keep this confidential because it's still an investigation. Wait. I know you wanna get to this, but I think that even after the investigation was complete and that there would be no charges, she and Smith couldn't accept it and started peddling what the potential charges could be, continuing the smear tactics and interference with an election. Then we have a DA who oversaw the investigation, and even he said he agreed with the police about no charges. And as I mentioned, about judge shopping, the current mayor was given several opportunities to state whether she was the one leaking council's emails to the meme page. She's the only one who stayed silent and did not respond. And as I said, she's responsible for the trooper ambush, never even informed the city attorney about what was going on. And, council was not even afforded the opportunity to have their own legal representation present. Our rights were violated. She caused our rights to be violated. And the truth, I think, is slowly coming out. But, I think it's a little too late. We've been stuck with Trooper Gate, Lawyer Gate. And that was all manufactured by Smith and Pierce. I believe it is in the taxpayers' best interest if Pierce resigns now. Okay. She has lost the trust and faith that I think the people had in her. And if anything, they should apologize. I mean, they didn't have a warrant. The police did not have a warrant. I think it's an abuse of power that she allowed that charade to happen. Okay. Even Is this the first time you've called for her resignation? Because if it is, that might be news. Maybe, because what she and the former mayor have put us through just for voting on a resolution that they could not accept. I went through the letter that Jeff Smith sent to the Attorney General's office, and guess what? There's a lot of mistakes in here that he wrote, and I think he put it in there hoping. He claims that we hired the first African-American attorney in history, Todd Millard, and that he disclosed this unsigned document that he had for several months, which that is an ethics violation for an attorney, and that shortly thereafter he was terminated. No, we had interviewed him in another firm and decided to go with another firm. And he was wrong in this because we hired Harris Beach, not Todd Millard, and we had Justin Miller.
Okay.
That's
fine.
Saying.
That's fine.
But in his report to the AG, there's several false statements in here. I think he made it look sensationalized in order to get their attention.
Okay, well, you can say all these things at meetings, too, but I want to know, going back to the night the troopers usually, in your words, ambushed you. Some people don't like that term. They say, you're anti-law enforcement, your husband was a cop.
I'm not. My husband, right. My husband was in three different types of law enforcement. The federal, he was chief of law enforcement at Fort Drum, and he was in the security police unit at 174th Air National Guard in Syracuse, and he worked for a municipality for 10 years as a cop.
Okay, so they came in there, they said, I'm paraphrasing, and if I'm wrong, correct me, but, well, we do have a warrant, but we didn't bring it because we thought you would comply. Do they do that all the time when they go to a drug house? Do they say, well, we didn't bring the warrant, Mr. Drug Dealer, but we just thought you'd comply? I don't know. Actually, I would be curious. It's laughable, is what it is.
I haven't even talked to Mr. Hickey about that. I would love to know what they told him.
Yeah.
But
did you ever feel that maybe they said, well, you keep quiet about this? Now, they just came in and snookered you 5 people into a room, along with the city manager, he's just going along to get along. But, and they lay all this on you, and you got the public out there waiting for an hour. Where's my meeting? They were cheated that night out of a meeting.
Right. There's no reason to end it. I know.
Why would you keep quiet? I wouldn't.
Because they said it was part of the investigation, and the police told me that they knew she came out with a statement. They were not happy about it because she went public.
They'll tell you anything. They told you they had a warrant. They were lying.
I get it. But I also respect what they do. I mean, overall, I'm not down on police whatsoever.
Well, that may be.
But I do know that she violated the meeting rules. She just abruptly put a pause on it. And there was no reason why we couldn't come back and finish the meeting. But I know why she didn't. It was for publicity because all she wanted to come out were the headlines that the police were there.
Right. They want the headline, council members probed, state police probe focuses.
That. Yeah. Well, where did she get that from? She got it from Jeff Smith because he did that all the time. Oh, the media, wait, we'll come back out, so please stick around. All the things that he did when he violated executive session, confidentiality, I mean, the list is long of all the things.
Are you estranged from Cliff Only? I mean, do you get along with him now?
I get along with him, but, people are mistaken. They think we're a team or we agree on everything. We don't. A lot of times I vote against some of his stuff that he might put up for resolutions. And I mean, but we don't really discuss how we're going to vote or anything. But no, I mean,
does he talk too much?
I hear from him, but I'm the type, and actually this year I've started hearing from Ben, which is good. I never get a phone call from Sarah or Kimball.
No, well,
but a lot of times Ben will call and share his frustration about something or see if there's support on a resolution that he might like to do. We do. That's the whole thing about that is having the conversation to be able to make things happen. That's what you need. And when you have this animosity with former and current mayor.
Yeah, but what are you going to do about it? I mean, you say you've been smeared. Okay, you say your rights were violated. But going on a talk show and talking about it doesn't do anything. Are you going to do anything? You said you got a lawyer.
Yeah, that's what I talked to my lawyer this morning about.
Okay.
So.
Now we'll have another executive session to discuss proposed litigation, I guess.
Well, that's if it's a council meeting. But I think, the sad thing is Pierce and Smith have been under a cease and desist order for 2 years.
But that's just a piece of paper.
Have violated that. Oh, I'm telling you, the emails that we get, especially, we get a lot of emails from Mr. Simeo, and I understand they're being forwarded to the city attorney.
I get them all too. I'm on the list.
Right, but some of the stuff I think is all what he's lining up for exhibits, and I would not be surprised if the city gets a massive lawsuit because of everything that's been going on.
Wow, okay. Well, that said, we're going to take time out for a message and be back with more in just a moment.